There was a lot of speculation about what Deutsche Bank was going to do in order to delay their failure. The report seemed to be rather accurate as the official statements have now been released. The only real question is, how much contagion will this cause? You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. I've been covering this issue for quite a while. I've been showing you the statements as they've been coming out, the unconfirmed reports. I've been giving you all the details, the price of the stock, following the trends, everything in between. Now, finally, we have the official statements from the company. I'm going to show you directly from their own websites. I'm also going to show you the mainstream news. I'm going to show you the stock price. I'm going to give you all the details that you need to know. So let's get into it. Everything I'm going to cover today was well within the expectations that we've been talking about for a while. Nothing surprising. It is devastating. However, it's really what we expected to happen. Deutsche Bank will exit the global equities business and slash 18,000 jobs in sweeping overhaul. So this right here was within those parameters of 15,000 to 20,000. That would bring their headcount down to 74,000, and although this is still a big number, it has been significantly reduced. I believe the number was 9,300 people in North America alone, most of which are in the United States. It looks like their future isn't too bright at Deutsche Bank. I also wanted to note that it seems like they are going to take until 2022 to get rid of all these people. Now, whether or not that happens, the dates, that's all up in the air as far as I'm concerned, but we're looking at it today as with this extremely long booming stock market cycle that we have seen. This is the longest bull market in history. We have witnessed a bank like this being decimated from every angle. So what happens when times get tough, when we eventually hit the end of the cycle and it starts to come down? What is going to happen to this bank? Is 18,000 workers actually enough to cut? Or are they going to have to speed up the timeline and or increase the headcount? Well, only time will tell. Deutsche expects its restructuring plan to cost 7.4 billion euros by the end of 2022. I'm sure this number, just like any others that companies or government agencies give you, it always goes way over what their expectations were. But again, we'll see it as it happens. The German bank also expects to report a net loss of 2.8 billion euro in the second quarter 2019. So we'll see which one is more important to those stock traders, the analysts. Are they going to love the fact that this company is cutting costs significantly, or the fact that they are reporting a net loss of nearly 3 billion euro? Well, we're going to see what happens with that, that's for sure. This is directly from db.com, and you can see July 7, 2019, Deutsche Bank outlined significant strategic transformation and restructuring plans. If you want to read the details, if you want to know exactly what's going on, I'm going to show you this one and the next, and these are directly from the bank's website. Now, the way that they speak, the way that they are writing here is a little bit more technical and using legal terminology, but if you want it directly from the source, that's what I always do to try and provide it to you. Take a look at this here. The bank will create a new capital release unit to manage the efficient wind down of the assets related to business activities which are being exited or reduced. These assets and business represented 74 billion euro of risk-weighted assets and 288 billion euro of leverage exposure. That's as of the end of 2018. When they talk about this, to me, it seems to be rather funny. They believe somehow that they're going to be able to get rid of what they have. They haven't been able to do so in years, and yet they are still trying to make those promises. These are the restructuring plans that they like to talk about all the time, but it simply never works out in the way that they hope. Here are the point form notes that you need to know for what's happening with Deutsche Bank. One interesting point here that I wanted to note that I didn't see in the mainstream news articles was this. investing 13 billion euro in technology by 2022 to drive, oh yes, efficiency and further improve products and services. And what they're talking about here is eliminating human beings and replacing it with technology. Okay, so they're actually going to spend 13 billion euro over the next few years in order to do this, because they can reduce their manpower and they do not have to ever hire those people back. At least that's what they'll try to do. Many companies are doing this. We've seen it in the financial industry with the robo-advisors. We've seen it with cashiers. We've seen it all down the line, of course, but I just wanted to show you that because I think it's really important to see that, in fact, yes, they are getting rid of people. Yes, they are trying to restructure, as they like to say. They're trying to get rid of all that bad debt, all the bad investments, and then they're going to spend a whopping 13 billion euro trying to improve their company at the same time. In a way, this is not so good. There are more details in this article here that you should check out. It's the statement directly from their own mouth, so that's where you need to be if you want to know the truth. And they also had talked about this here out of Bloomberg. Deutsche Bank planning to close most Asia equity businesses. And that's all part of this because they are trying to significantly reduce on all aspects of their business here, particularly in the equities. But I do believe that we will see the trimming, the cuts coming from basically everywhere. As we have seen time and time again with many financial companies, this tends to happen where there's sort of a blanket operation that goes on and it simply comes down from the highest levels saying this is what is going to occur. Some areas get slaughtered, other places they simply trim the fat, and that's usually what happens on occasion, even if it doesn't have anything to do with a particular performance. It could be just a simple matter of new management coming in and they want to be very tough and try and clean up a little bit, as they like to say, and they quote let them go. Well, this occurs time and time again, and I think it's important to really focus on this company, as I always say. I just thought this part was interesting, so I wanted to show it to you. At its annual meeting in Frankfurt, shareholders quizzed company executives for more than 9 hours over a series of missteps that have kept the bank under pressure. So they have been taking an absolute beating, not just in the stock price, but from their actual shareholders too. Most certainly, they should be upset about what's happening because there are so many scandals with this company from every level. We have seen so much being built up over the years, and their stock has been getting beaten down throughout this period where we have the longest bull market in history. I was going to show you the actual stock price here, but it's the same as when I left you on the last video when I showed it. I want to see how the shareholders react. Are they going to rush for the exits? I mean, they knew this was coming. Right now, although it's not at a record low, the stock has been tremendously beaten down. So I am interested to see how they're going to react. I'm going to obviously have to do another video about this as things sort of come into effect, and we'll see how it all plays out. That's all for this video. If you found it informative, hit that like button, and if you hated it, hit that thumbs down button. Thank you very much for that. If you want the financial education you were not taught in school, these two books have everything you need. All the details are located in these two books. We're talking about the central banks, the inflation, the interest rates, everything that you need to know. Check it out, link in the description. If you want the audiobook, that's available at themoneygps.com. Hold on, don't go anywhere. You got to watch this video. Definitely click on it and I will see you there.